or the core thing about business, which is focusing on adding value. Once you focus on adding value, money will follow you. And that is why you need to ask this key question, which is, who got my money? Once you ask this key question of who got your money, then you have a very good foundation to actually making the money. So, who got your money simply means who and who do you know, or that you don't even know, that has a problem, that needs solution, that you can provide the solution and get money as an exchange for this service you have provided. When I'm talking about who got your money, these are the people who got the money to pay you for your service, for your product, and for the solution you have. Not just people that have the problem, but people who can be able to pay money. Because it's not about having a problem and not being able to pay the money, because you are in the big game of business to make money. And when I started my entrepreneurial journey, though it's funny, I started my entrepreneurial journey even while I was in the hostel, but it became on an aggressive level when I was in the university, because as that was 2004, 2005, I was another level. I do attend seminar, workshop about business in different parts of Southwest, specifically Lagos and Ibadan. I can't remember how many seminars I attended in Lagos. In fact, to an extent, in my house, they call me Mr. Seminar because I attend seminar a lot. That was the days of Success Attitude Development Center. That is Success Digest. They're also the provider of, they own the brand called Complete Sports. And but the challenge I have then is I haven't learned a lot about business. Let me say internet business. I had this challenge of getting started, which is having a laptop and having internet access. Not even laptop then, it was even having a computer. So the first thing I did is I told one of my under level colleague that he has a Pentium 2 laptop. That's okay. A Pentium 2 computer. That's okay. I know about a lot of internet businesses. Let's start a deal. Give me this Pentium 2 laptop. When I start making money, I'll teach you how to do the business. And that is how he gave me his Pentium 2 desktop. Then I haven't solved the problem of having a computer. The next challenge is, okay, internet access. I was able to solve the problem of internet access, leveraging and using of converting mobile phone to modem. For those of us that have been in the game for years, we know that in 2004, 2005, 2008, 2010, the only fastest way of having internet access is to use mobile phone as modem using some USB. I think forgot the name of those USB cable we use then, but I know we use USB cable then to convert it to modem. If you remember the phone we used then, you can type the name of the phone and the name of the USB cable if you can remember then. Hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know if you can hear me. All I thought if you said you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me, let me know if you can hear me, and let me know where you are watching from. And because towards the end of this section, I'll also be getting answering some questions. So if you can hear me, let me know if you can hear me. So once I was able to solve the problem of internet access, and as an undergraduate, where I am as a student is majority of people that need internet access are students and lecturers. But because I'm a very smart person, students' income level cannot be compared to lecturers' income level. So I decided to target lecturers. So what do? I did my banner, I did my flyer. I did my flyer and I walked into any lecturer's office. Any lecturer's office, even student affairs, HOD, student affairs, I can't remember the name, but I know the head of student affairs was my client. The head of exam and record was my client. So I walk into any of the lecturer's office and tell them I'm Mohammed Adeleke, 100 level student of agricultural economics. I have an outstanding solution to internet problem. And I tell them my bill, and I solve the problem for them and collect my money. Though my dad was also a lecturer. The university I graduated from was National University of Education in Ijebu-Ode. It's formerly called TASCE. We are the first set. That is the first set when the school was upgraded to university. So which means I'm the we are the first set or the first University of Education in Nigeria, second in Africa, and 8th in the world. That is bragging on that level. So I collect my money, and that was how I was able to make a lot of money, even as an undergraduate. And even despite the fact that my dad was a lecturer, focusing on value gave me a lot of edge in the university, because when I meet a particular lecturer, after I've delivered the service, collect my money, and I'll tell them, do you know Mr. Lagbaja? Say, oh, I know Mr. Adeleke. We are colleagues. Some of them even tell me he also taught them when they were undergraduates. But I've already collected my money. Some of them even tell my dad that, oh, your son did this and that for me. He collected money. And because of that, I have edge over all other students. One, because as already know in the university, if you don't know people, you have some challenge. But the fact that I had the service to render, it gave me a lot of advantage in the university. And I was also able to make money providing service. But because of my own capacity I've built in the game of business, like I told you, I can't count how many seminars I've attended, even as an undergraduate. That was like 15 years ago. Going to Success Attitude Development Center. So while I was in university, I make a lot of money from providing internet service, as simple as you can think. And I also have an office in Ijebu-Ode at Ondo Road. Not that I paid money to rent an office. I partnered. I leveraged. There's somebody that has a repair photocopying machine. So I told him, okay, I provide internet access. Can you give me a small space in your office where I can meet my clients? And I did banner across Ijebu-Ode, and that was how I was making my money. And I started from internet connection, but from there, when I want to fix the internet connection problem, I will tell them, if I identify that maybe the system has virus, I'll tell them this system has to be formatted. Because of that, you have to enjoy the internet connection I'm doing for you. You have to format the laptop. I also charge extra 5K, 10K for laptop formatting. That was how I accidentally became a computer engineer. Then during my NYSC, I also used the same strategy. Even before I came to Port Harcourt for NYSC in 2010, I already have an office in Port Harcourt, even though I've never been in Port Harcourt before, which is power of leverage, because I understand that if I'm in Port Harcourt, I've heard that in Port Harcourt there is oil money, and it's one of the major cities in Nigeria. So what do? I make contact, and I was able to get people that already have an office in Port Harcourt. Even before coming to Port Harcourt, I already have an office in Port Harcourt. She using the same strategy of leveraging on other people's effort, other people's resources. Because when it comes to the game of business, you need to know how to leverage on other people's money, other people's resources, and do it ethically. So I was also providing internet services, internet connection service, even as a copper then. I was not feeling that, now I'm a graduate, let me look for a white collar job. Even I had banner across major places in Port Harcourt then. Then I now felt that I can't continue. I was making major money then from computer sales and repair, but I was like, I cannot repair 10 laptops at once, and I can also sell 10 laptops at once. So because of that, I started learning website designing, and within the last 5 years, we've deployed more than 300 websites and web solutions, including for Polytechnic and University in Nigeria. Not just University and Polytechnic, even some of them for the Alumni Association, and we've made a lot of money from that. As far back as 2-3 years ago, I renew or register a new domain every other day. And for you to be renewing or registering a website name every other day, it means you are getting average of 2 to 3 web jobs per week, and that is a lot of money. And so you can see the way I scaled from providing internet service to providing computer sales and repair service. Then I also now scale up to providing web designing. But the type of website designing we do is we provide web consulting service, which has to do with design, traffic, and conversion, not just web designing service. So, and we're able to make a lot of money from that also. Now, until now, we currently power more than 500 websites. In fact, there are many hosting companies in Nigeria that does not power up to 500 websites. And that is how we have been able to grow gradually by answering a fundamental question of who got my money and who got my money. That is, who has a solution that I can provide service for. Who has a problem I can provide solution for, and who got the money to pay, and who not just got money to pay or not just doing any type of business, but doing a business that was scalable. Because I realized that providing internet service is not scalable. I added fixing of computer. Then from there, we also added computer sales and repair. I've made a lot of money from that. We also added website design. So gradually, I stopped fixing laptop. I stopped even selling laptop, because the maximum you can make from selling laptop is maybe 5K, 10K, and that is not scalable. But I use one source of income to build strength, to build momentum, to get money to learn another type of skill. And for those that knew me, in the last 2 years, we make a lot of money from providing an high in demand service or solution to an high in demand need, which is recharge and bill payments business. And we made a lot of money from that, and we are still making a lot of money from that. And not just about making money, we have been able to empower a lot of life doing that. So that is the key thing about business.
It's 22:30.
You have to have answer to the key question of who got my money. So I'll be checking the chat log to be able to answer questions. So if you have any question about business, you can post your question here. I'll reply them accordingly. And if you have got value from this presentation, you can also comment here so that we can know if people are actually getting value from this. So the core of today's message is being able to answer the key question of who got your money, and figure out what solution, what service, what product can you offer them to make the money. And once you are able to identify who got your money and what solution and services you can provide to get money in exchange, then you'll be able to make money. But if you are just looking for money without asking the fundamental question about making money, which is adding value, then you'll not be able to make money. You'll just be in the rat race. Some people will say that you just wake up and find 2 million naira in the bank account. I just wake up and as I'm walking on the road, I just see 2 million in the gutter. Will the money fall? Is money growing inside gutter? Or is a gutter an ATM? When I say gutter, a drainage system, is it an ATM machine? Even if you go to ATM machine and you have not made the money, you can't get it from the ATM. So you have to focus more on value creation and identify who has the money and provide the value. Not just identify who has problem that you can solve, you have a solution to the problem, and who have the ability to pay. When it comes to the game of business, don't just look at who has a problem you have a solution for. Identify who have the ability to pay. That was why when I was in university, I focused on lecturers, even though there are a lot of students that also need solution to the internet problem. But I focused on lecturers, and I was able to make a lot of money from that. Even when I was serving also, I also developed a website for NYSC Rivers State, and I got state award. So I focused on adding value, and once you focus on adding value, you make money. So if you have any question about business, you can post it. I'm going to answer the question. I have Olaiton Hafiz is on this presentation. I have Joseph Abasali, is one of my clients since 2015. We have set up a lot of businesses for him, and he has made a lot of money from that. We have Balogun Demilade, we have Ichua Bashir, that's one of my staff. We have Abayomi Ridwan, you can hear me. Okay, why me one is asking where is the seminar? Where is a live section on Facebook? Okay, where is the seminar in Lagos? It's Success Digest Attitude Development Center, owned by Dr. Sonny Ojeigbazi. He's one of the prominent icon when it comes to internet business game. And during that seminar, attending those seminars, gave me opportunity to learn from people like Akin Alabi, people like Olumide Emmanuel, people like Iyabo Yawale, among other big mind in the internet business game. Okay, what's your take on starting a business with a load? Okay, I don't understand this question clearly, but if you can reframe your question, I'll be able to answer accordingly. Okay, then what is the most important thing for someone who wants to start a new business from scratch to focus on? Okay, if you want to start a new business from scratch, the important question you have to focus on is that business, is there a demand for the service your business is providing, and who are your target audience? Not just target audience that have money to pay for the service. Then once you're able to identify that, there are some key things in business that we call it tripod of business. The key fundamental of business is one, client acquisition is very important, and client acquisition is what I broken down to lead generation. So one is lead generation, that is getting customer. Then after getting customer, lead conversion. Once you get the prospect, you have to be able to convert them into paying clients. Then the third step is to have a delivery system in place. So the three key things fundamental of business is lead generation, lead conversion, and client fulfillment. Once you understand this key thing about business, you can now start putting necessary system in place around how do you generate lead, then how do you convert the lead to a prospect, how do you convert the lead to a client, then how do you deliver value for the client. Then in this current age, you have to look at how to systemize the entire process of one, lead generation. How do you systemize it? The secondly, lead conversion. You need to have a funnel, you need to have a system, a predictable system for converting prospect or suspects to paying clients. They need to have a repeatable business, also a repeatable process also for delivering value to your clients. And that is what will make your business to be scalable. Then, just like most of us goes to university with the aim of getting a good job, a good grade and getting a good job. Then in the game of business also, you have to learn about business. And because just the same way you want to be employable, you need to also learn about business. How do you learn about business? You have to read book about business, have mentorship, have a mentor on business, then also continue to review your activity. There are some books that you can read that will actually expand your horizon about the game of business. There are some of them they are like a lower level dose that most of us already know, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad. But that is a book that many people know about the game of business. But there are some advanced level dose of book that you need to also read, and not just read, implement to get started in the game of business, which is E-Might, Entrepreneurial Might, Why Most Small Business Fails and What to Do About Them. Once you read this book that explains why most small business fails and what to do about them, the book is written by Michael Gilbert. You'll be able to understand the key thing, the fundamental things about the game of business. Because most entrepreneurs, they are technicians suffering from entrepreneurial seizure. I'll call it gigi. Most entrepreneurs have the gigi of business. They believe the fact that they can do they have a technical skill, that they can be able to turn it to money. Not knowing that the technical aspect of a business is different from the business aspect of a business. Like, for example, since 2013, I have staffs, and currently I have more than 10 staff that work with me, and I've been able to crack the code of how to generate leads, how to convert the lead to clients, and also to deliver the leads to clients. And I'm running a business that can run with or without me. Why? Because of the knowledge I've been able to pass through. I've been a student of Success Digest, Success Attitude Development Center since 2004, 2005. And I can't count how many Success Digest magazine I've read. The funny thing there is that we have Success Digest magazine that is produced by Success Attitude Development Center that is owned by Dr. Sonny Ojegbazi. We also have Complete Sports. But many people read Complete Sports more than Success Digest. They read newspaper about entertainment more than a magazine about how they can actually get financial freedom, how they can build their capacity in the game of business. Then even after my NYSC 2010, I also enrolled for business school, which is Faith Foundation Business School, owned by Fola Adeolu. It's one of the icons behind GT Bank. And after that, I've enrolled for a lot of courses and I've attended a lot of workshops since I started the journey. I'm a student of Dan Kennedy. J.R. Brand is my coach. Brand Tracy, among other big brands internationally and locally. Here in Nigeria also, I have people like Dr. Sonny Ojegbazi. When I just started my journey, Akin Alabi. And then I remember when I attended seminar, I used to even people like Ronald Izimoya. I used to meet him in some of the events where he also attended seminar of people like Yabo Yawali. From there, we were able to get to build a lot of network, and that's how the journey has been. In fact, today I'll be paying for an MBA session that will be starting by tomorrow. So if you want to start the game of business, you have to learn about business. How do you learn about business? You have to get a mentor, go to business school, and more importantly, you need to get a mentor that can hold you accountable for results. Because the problem with most entrepreneurs is that they just start the game of business, they don't give accounts to anybody. So because of that, they're not able to actually nobody to review their journey and give them insights on what to put them on the fast lane. Like one of my mentor, who is a billionaire, Mr. Fela Ketayo, and within the past few years, I've learned a lot of things from him, and also working with him behind the scene. And that is fundamental about the game of business. Special thanks to him for his special support, and he's really raising a lot of billionaires. But what is key is that most people that want to start business, they believe they can do it alone. They don't need anybody to mentor them. Apart from Mr. Sinagita, I also have other people that also mentor me, and I pay for mentorship for some of them. I buy their books. So if you want anybody to mentor you, you may not have the money to pay them 1 million, 5 million, 500K for mentorship. Buy their book. Go online. Most of them, they share a lot of videos on YouTube or Facebook. You can watch from there and go from there. So let me look at other questions. So if you have questions about how to get started in the game of business or how to identify who've got your money, you can post here. Then if you have got value, type I've got value, I've got value, I've got value. If you have got value from this presentation, type I've got value. If you also have any question, you can drop a question here. Okay, what advice can you give to a person who has an employee but decides to build a business in the IT field? Okay, who is an employee but decides to build a business in the IT field? Okay. My advice to somebody that is an employee but decide to build a business in the IT field is: one, what is most important is for you to see is to learn skills to build capacity on what will make you productive in your current job. So maybe things you have been doing for 2 hours, now you can do it for 30 minutes. That is, build more capacity in what will make you productive in the current job you are doing. Because what people get wrong in the game of making more money is that they are working for somebody, they want to make extra money. While trying to do that, they will be unable to even maintain or even retain the current job they have because they are not strategic about it. Because they are tactical, they end up losing the two. So in your existing job, look at what you can do while doing your existing job that will make you more productive doing it, which means what you are supposed to deliver in 2 hours, you can deliver it in 30 minutes. What you can deliver in 3 hours, in 3 weeks, you can deliver it in 1 week. which means you can be able to meet up with the KPI of the organization because you are being paid for what you do. Then now look at what you can do while being an employee in that organization, then you can be able to make more money. For example, if your organization is an organization that sells product or service, even if you are not in the marketing department, you can learn more about marketing so that you can be able to also sell the company product and services, and you can also get commission from doing that. So if you are enjoying this presentation, kindly share this video. You can create a watch party so other people can also benefit from these insights. So please share the video so other people can also benefit from this presentation. Because one thing about success is that success is contagious, and two poor people cannot help themselves. Two poor people cannot help themselves. So, but by sharing this information, you'll also be able to help other people, and from there, you'll be able to also share the good energy, because we already know that there is an economic pandemic and a lot of bad news in the industry. But if many people can know about the key question they need to ask, they want to start a business, how to identify who got their money and how do they get the money, then people can be able to survive the economic pandemic. Okay, Joseph Abasalim. Yes, in fact, this Joseph Abasalim is one of my clients, and we met at Faith Foundation Business School. We are AEP 29 sets, and that is as at 2010. So this also confirms what I'm telling you about learning the game of business. So one of the books I've recommended is E-Might. Let me type it. E-Might. That is E-Might. Why most small business fail. Why most small business fails. And what to do about them, by Michael Giba. So you can check out the book on Google. You can first download the summary, because that is one of the fast ways of learning. If you want to learn any book, you can leverage on what we call 80-20. If you want to learn anything, you can leverage on the concept of 80-20 principle by first getting the summary of the book. Then once you feel that the summary is worthwhile, then you can now read the entire book. Then once you read E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, then you can now upgrade to read Beyond E-Myth. So this also gives you an advanced level of the fundamental of building a business. So kindly drop your questions so I can be able to answer them. Also, if you have shared this video, comment here that you have shared the video. If you are able to share this video 10 times and you comment here that you have shared the video, I have a special gift for you. So you can drop your question here. Okay, what skill does one need to be able to operate a recharge and bill payment biz after being set up by you for one? That's interesting. Once you have your own recharge portal, either you got it from us or from anybody, the important skill you need to have is marketing skill and customer service skill, because those are the critical things in this business. What kills most business is lack of customer. Because once you don't have customer, you don't have oxygen. You're not able to make money. So you need to know how to market. And when you are marketing any business, you first start with your power base. What a power base means, your family and friends. There is a lot of myths about business. You want to do business, don't do it with your family and friends, don't do it with your church member, don't do it with people in your mosque, this and that. All those things are myths, they are trash. The first set of people you can advertise your business to are your family and friends. The first set of people that will be your customer are your family and friends. It is when you have been able to convert your family and friends to your customer and get some level of feedback from them, gain some level of traction, then you can now leverage on the data you have been able to get, on the feedback, to now sell to people you don't know before. So that is the first step. And how do you start this? You can leverage, if you now want to go extra mile, you can leverage on WhatsApp marketing. Then having started with WhatsApp marketing, you can now start leveraging on even free posting your information about your businesses on social media freely. Don't start by paying. They haven't got some feedback on what works, what does not work. They can now invest your money into Facebook adverts, because within the last 7 weeks we invested over 1 million for Facebook adverts. So if I tell you that within the last 3 months we generated over 20 million in revenue from one aspect of our business, you'll be like, oh, 20 million, is it not possible? It's all due. But just thinking now that we invested over 1 million on Facebook adverts. Because most people, when they are setting a goal of, oh, this 2020 I want to make 50 million, how much do you want to invest? What value are you planning to provide to make that 50 million? Within the last 2 weeks, I invested another over $10,000 on marketing funnel to market one of our products. So for you to make money, you have to invest money also, not just money. You have to invest. There are two critical things, which is money and time. Then on customer service, there is this book on customer service you can read. The book is Compassionate Gig. You can just Google Compassionate Gig, because Compassionate Gig is a book that is the best book you can read to be very good in customer service. Because some people are very compassionate, they have empathy, but they can't solve your problem. There are some people that are very techy, but they don't have that empathy to address issue. So, but if you have compassionate and you are also a gig, you have the know-how about what you do, you'll be able to deliver a good customer service. So you can start with that. Then, based on what I said before, the book about e-meet visited, why most small business fails and what to do about them. You can also read that book. It will give you a good fundamental in getting started in recharge and bill payment business. Either you already have a portal executed by us or by anybody, you can leverage on that book. And this applies to any type of business you are doing. So I've been able to answer the question by Polycarp Moses. Okay, Abubakar Ali Dangana. Okay, this is one of my friend also. He served in River State some time ago. So let me see if I have other question. Okay, what has been your major challenge of building your business and how are you able to overcome it? Well, like this year, my goal is in billions. Last year we did over 70 million. And one thing about the game of business is that you need to enjoy it. And when you see problem, see it as an opportunity to grow more capacity and opportunity to make more money. So firstly, when you see a problem, see it as a challenge and figure out how to solve the problem. And that is why mentorship is very key. See, one of the major challenges I have in business is systemizing it, because I'm the type of person that I don't want to limit the value I had, and because of that, I can't be doing everything myself. Because major problem with many people is that they have this freelance mentality of I can do it myself, and I'm a solopreneur. I work for myself. I can wake up anytime I like. I can do things any way I like. If you are the owner of the business and you are the sole owner of the business, you don't have a staff, you don't have a partner, that also limits how many people you can add value to. So the challenge I had then was, how do I systemize this business so that I haven't been able to successfully, for example, render value to 10 clients. I can now scale it up and be able to render value to 100 clients. So because of asking that, figuring, and I've been able to figure out that solution to the problem of systemizing. Because once you can systemize every aspect of your business, then you'll be able to have what we call a predictable, sustainable, and a profitable business. That you can be able to say, okay, in the month of May, this is what we did. We attended to 10 customers. We made XYZ millions. In the month of July, okay, we want to have 15 customers. What do we need to put in place to achieve that? So you need to understand the concept of systemizing. Once you understand the concept of systemizing, you will not have issue. And when you talk about systemizing, you look at all aspects of your business, from HR to accounts to sales to marketing and to some other aspects. Because when it comes to area of HR, that is getting staff, you have to have a system in place for that. And how do you achieve that? You need to get an HR company, or you learn about human resources. then even when you have a staff, how do you onboard them? Because what determines if a staff is going to stay with you for long years, how you are able to onboard them, what experience they have within the first 1 to 3 days of joining your company. If they are not properly onboarded, they don't share the vision of the company, they won't last long. The same thing applies to clients. The first impression, within your first 5-10 minutes of interacting with the client determines if the client is going to do business with you or not. So the first major challenge I have is systemizing, because I want to be able to offer value to a lot of people. So I've been able to figure out how to do that, and I'm still learning deeply on how to systemize all aspects of my business, how to manage growth. Like I said a few minutes ago, I've just enrolled for an MBA program to further widen my horizon in the business game, and I continue to learn. Because one thing as an entrepreneur is that any challenge you face, you need to figure out solution to that challenge. And in the last 3 months, I've invested over 3 million naira on my personal development. Okay, somebody is asking my name. The name of the book is E-Myths Revisited: Why Most Small Business Fail and What to Do About Them. So any other question? If you have got value from this presentation, type "I've got value." If you have got value from this presentation, type "I've got value," and also indicate where you are joining us from, so I can know where my audience is. Currently, we have customers all over the world, not just in Nigeria. We have some of our clients in UK, US, Dubai, Malaysia, Netherlands, Ghana, and different parts of the country. And we are putting necessary system in place to be able to get clients all over the world and offer value to them. So if you have any question, you can drop the question. I'll be wrapping up this section within the next 5 minutes. So special thanks to those who joined the section. And I'll be doing a lot of Facebook live in recent time, and I'll also be going live on Instagram, YouTube, and other channels. And I'll be adding a lot of value. I'll be sharing a lot of insights about how to make money, about wealth creation, about how to be more productive, among others. Okay, so this is Polycarp Moses from Benin. Interesting. We have about 17 attendees. I know within the next 48 hours, we are going to have a lot of people that have also watched this presentation and get a lot of value. And in our subsequent presentation, it will be much more loaded and value-driven, more than this. But it's not about you coming to join the section. It's about you also taking action on what you have learned. It's about you also taking action about what you have learned. Like the books I shared, like E-Myths Revisited by Michael Giba. You can get it and read it. And you can also get compassionate kick if you want to widen your horizon in terms of customer service. Most of us, we believe customer service is not necessary for some business. It's necessary for every type of business. One of the companies that has the best customer service in the world is Zappos. Zappos is actually a shoe company, and they have been bought by Amazon. So you'll be like, why is customer service important to a company like Zappos that is into shoe? But customer service is very, very important, and that is why it's very important we learn about it, not just about marketing. And if you have good understanding of customer service, it will also assist you in your personal life. Okay, how do you overcome challenge of financing your business? Okay, this is an interesting question. One of the best way to handle finance is to bootstrap. When I say bootstrap, you use the revenue that is being generated from the business to build the business. That is one of those ways you can use to finance your business, because with that you'll be able to take strategic step in handling the business. You'll not be under pressure. But when you're under pressure, you'll be forced to charge less. You'll be forced to, even the way you talk to your client, you'll be like, oh, just pay me this money, let me pay my house rent. And when you are doing that, you'll be forced to call it commoditize, or turn your business to commodity. And once you turn your service to commodity, then you'll be getting, it will not be well valued. But if you use the money that the business is generated to finance your business, you can be able to grow gradual. And because you are growing gradual, you can be able to get some data that you can now use to scale up. So after you be able to use your money to grow the business to an extent, you can now start thinking about who and who, or what and what can you do to make money. And one of the best ways to finance your business is to scale up your marketing. And when you are scaling up your marketing, you don't need to spend a lot of money. Start by spending a lot of money. You can leverage on the free tools, on the free option. And many people are on WhatsApp, but they don't know how to optimize the usage of WhatsApp. But they are on WhatsApp. Now we talk of a lot of people that are on Facebook that don't understand how to optimize the usage of Facebook. Okay, let me share one thing we are missing out about WhatsApp. Most of us will create a podcast list and share information about our service on the podcast list. But at the end of the day, it's only 30 people that will read a podcast that is shared to about 200 people. Why? Because you don't understand how WhatsApp works. If anybody does not save their number on your phone, if you share a podcast message to them, they will not see it. If you share a status, they won't see the status. Why? Because they didn't save your number on the phone. So what you can start doing from now on is never chat you on WhatsApp, tell them to save your number on their phone. You can even tell them the name to use to save the number. There is a book about, I'm going to share that book on my Facebook status. It's written by TechPoint and Paystack about WhatsApp marketing.
It's 23 hours.
So if you can leverage on this book, you can be able to do more marketing. Because once you are doing a business and you don't have fund, you'll not be able to move on the fast lane. But if you can be able to scale up your marketing, then you can be able to make money. Most people, when they don't have funds, they now pipe low on marketing. Because marketing is the best way to make money. Then another thing we do in the game of business that I do is that we blitzscale. But blitzscaling is an advanced level of financing a business. But I won't talk about that for now. The other thing you can do is that you can also get family and friends that you can borrow money from. But when you are doing that, instead of telling them to borrow you money, it's better you tell them to invest. But it's not good to start with that if you don't understand some key things about structuring a business, about even when you don't even have a record, you just give people profits based on emotion. That you promise them a percentage of emotion and you don't have data, because most people that does business, they don't even pay themselves salary. So if you don't pay yourself salary, how do you now calculate a lot of things? You don't even know how many customers you have within the last 3 months, within the last 1 year. How much do you make in 2019? How much do you make first quarter of 2020? So all those things are very, very important. So what you can do in financing your business is to start with your own money. Then based on the data you have gotten, you can now start raising funds. But before you start raising funds, you need to understand the fundamental of managing funds, which is not the discussion for today's presentation. But you can get a finance coach that will give you support on that. Okay. No, okay, I want to check if there are other questions. I think for now, no other questions. So I'll be ending this section. So thanks to everybody that has contributed, that has shown up. More of this will be coming. Thank you. I name Muhammad Adeleke.